following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Blowing out of the backfield, exploding down the sideline.
This is Hangin' with the Boys, presented by Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Now, your hosts, Nate Newton, Kurt Daniels, Jesse Holley, and Shannon Gross.
Welcome back. The boys are back in town. We are back together. I missed you guys. It's been too long. Welcome to the SWBC Mortgage Living Room live in Frisco, Texas. Nate Newton, Jesse Holley, Kurt Daniels, Shannon Gross. We are hanging with the boys. Took a little hiatus for the bye week, but now we're back to finish the year out strong. We're all rested and ready to go. What'd you guys do during the bye week? Kurt, what'd you do, man?
I had a list of honeydews I had to get done and family stuff. So yeah, it was nice. It was nice to. I didn't watch much football actually. I had other stuff going on, but it was a good getaway. What
about you, Jess? What'd you do this weekend?
Man, I got a chance. Normally everyone wants to go to lunch. Hey, can we go to lunch? 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 And I'm always doing the show around lunchtime. So I was finally able to kind of say, hey, you want to go to lunch? You want to go to lunch? And so, I got some lunch time in with some coworkers and things of that nature. But for the most part, me, man, I'm low key.
Did you swing by the trailer park and pick your lunch date up?
Thick.
Thick, like cold oatmeal, baby.
What? Johnny Conrad tweeted at you. He wants to know about ribs in the crock pot. What was that? What is that? Do you have ribs in the crock pot over the weekend?
Well, no. When I was on the old man show last week, you guys sent me to the senior citizen show. I don't know why. It is very clear and evident that our boss, our fearless leader, Derek Eagleton, doesn't like me, and I'm starting to see. He sends me with the. I got the AARP group, so. I got Nui and I got Everson, and so they, those are guys who are always like traditionalists. It's like, you gotta do the ribs on the grill. You gotta have a honey oat, sweet oat bark, and I'm like, yo, I throw ribs in a crock pot. I put them in there for 8 hours and let them rock out. And that to them, that's like, oh my God, it's like I committed some holy barbecue sin because I did my ribs in the crock pot.
I've never had that before. I have to try it.
Yeah, just put it in there, and come back 8 hours later, and boom, all done.
Huh?
Nice.
All right, Nate, what'd you do? You've been quiet pre-show. What'd you do this weekend?
Fellas, I'm just overjoyed to see you guys, Chris Beam, you included. I tell you what, man, how many more games does the Cowboys have left?
What do they got? Seven?
Cowboys have 7 games left, starting with the Minnesota Vikings, who play the Bears tonight. The Bears' defense are pretty physical, so that should put Dalvin Cook in a bad way. He may rush for a lot, but they're going to beat him up a little bit. And
you better hope so.
Yeah, so I predict your early prediction of 7 games left, Cowboys will be 7-0. Thank you.
Oh, my God. Wow.
You should stay silent like you were in the pregame show. Just don't say no more.
How soon we forget.
Hold on.
How soon we forget.
Hold on, fella.
They've opened as 8.5 points underdogs. So
let me say this. I listen to the pregame show because that is entertainment, and I wish the fans could listen to Jesse. 9 times out of 10 has a story why he go on tirades, and it's always justifiable. And I don't see it, but I like listening. Okay, that's why I was quiet. So I said, if Jesse could come with some of his wild tales, I could open the show with a wild tale. All right.
Let's talk about
fellas.
that.
Good to see y'all.
Good seeing you too. Well, the Giants beat the Eagles yesterday, and the Cowboys are back. They're back in the hunt for the division. I mean, as sad as that is, with 2 wins, they can still win this division, and that's not really a stretch by any means. The way this division is playing, are the Giants now the team for the Cowboys to catch? I mean, are they the favorite in this division now?
You know what makes you laugh is we run Jason Garrett out of here because he couldn't beat the Eagles. I'm looking like, I told my wife yesterday, I said, if Jason Garrett beat the Eagles, I'm going to call his wife and say, you know what, you're still a thorn in our side. But I didn't do it. Bless his heart.
That's the crazy thing. This team is definitely still in the hunt. And have you guys looked at the other NFC East team schedules the rest of the way? I mean, the Cowboys by far had the easiest schedule.
Yep. Philly by far has the Philly still has Seattle, Arizona, the Saints. I mean, they got a couple teams left in there.
Two of them teams you named, Jesse, I'm with. One of them, I cannot believe they're falling off that cliff. I hope it's just a mid-season slump for Seattle. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. But I think we have 3 games left against the NFC East. I don't think anybody else has more than 2. I think the Giants may only have 1. So I mean, Cowboys beat the NFC East teams. They're probably in. It's crazy.
Yeah, let's run down. Tell you what, I got the schedules pulled up right here. So this is Philly's schedule the rest of the way out. At Cleveland, home against Seattle,
Loss.
at Green Bay,
Loss.
home versus New Orleans,
Loss.
at Arizona,
Loss.
at Dallas,
Let's hope a loss.
and a home versus Washington. That's Philly. Then you got the Giants. They are who? The phone is ringing.
That's my office
phone
phone. That's my
Just
office
ignore.
phone.
Let's do like we do
Yeah,
Kurt Dogs. Let's just ignore. Put that in the
phone.
Kurt Dog list.
Maybe you should put on speakerphone.
Yeah, get a little action going. Then you got the Giants. They're at Cincinnati, at Seattle, home against Arizona, home against Cleveland, at Baltimore, and then home against Dallas to close out the year. And then you got Washington.
Losses.
Washington, you got home versus Cincinnati, at Dallas, at Pittsburgh, at San Fran, home versus Seattle, home versus Carolina, and at Philly. And then you got the Cowboys. Their schedule is at Minnesota, home versus Washington, at Baltimore, at Cincinnati, home versus San Fran, home versus Philly, and then at the Giants to close it out. So they've got, 1, 2, 3 division games left, which kind of makes their schedule easier, and they can make up a lot of ground. So
home against a beat-up 49ers team, and at Cincinnati. Cincinnati's not setting the world. I mean, there'll be a challenge. There'll be a challenge.
Boy, they got a quarterback. They
do, but they're
don't
only
do that in Cincinnati, bro. You slip on Cincinnati, you'll get you
can't slip. But I mean, they're 2-6-1, so it's not like they're they're elite. So
yeah, if you catch Minnesota this week on a short week coming to town, and probably like you said, Nate, getting beat up by that Bears defense, if you can somehow squeak one out against them, man, you're actually looking pretty damn good to win the division.
What I said at the beginning of the show, everybody bobbing their heads on, man, why is it that everybody got to kiss up to Jesse and reject Nate?
What are you talking about?
Wow.
It's not going. There's a difference between 7-0 and
Right.
I mean, squeaking out the division.
Let's be honest here.
I love you, babe. I wish you would.
This Cowboys team hasn't been world beaters. It's not like they can't go to Cincinnati or play Cincinnati.
The Cowboys have been world beaters. Have you seen how they've been getting beat? They've been going around the world just getting whooped up. They are world beaters.
Oh man, well, this has got to give the players some incentive, though. They got to be, I mean, I think some fans are like, screw it, let's go for next year. But players, they get another game check. They can see some light at the end of the tunnel here, maybe.
Hey, Jesse, I needed you last week. I come on with Nick Eatman the first day.
Oh,
and I got to hear all about the moral victories and
you guys got into it.
Oh my God! And he had one theory. Oh man, I'm on the one good foot in the grave, 1 foot out of the grave. I think they coming out of the. I'm like, man, where's Jesse when I need him? I started to tweet, you saved me, Jess. Let's switch up. I go with the old folks, and you come back with the young ones.
Yeah, you could have sent me with the young one. Them old heads had me sleepy.
Jesse, it got so bad between him and Nick. The following day, Kyle Yeomans was hosting that show, and he showed up with a referee shirt on underneath his jacket. That's how bad it got.
Me and Nick used to do a show together. We ain't go at it that bad. I was like, Nick, he like, what I told him, he said, what do you is a moral victory? I said, I don't use that word in my vocabulary. And he started trying to go with kids, and he put so many different scenarios into moral victories. I was like, we went to a break. I said, is that a moral victory that we going to a break? Where's Jesse when I need it? That's why don't ever take me off our show, fellas. I feel right at home with y'all. We don't do moral victories. Do we,
No,
Kurt?
we don't.
Do we, Shannon?
We don't.
No,
we don't.
Okay, all right.
No,
thank y'all.
Not anymore. Y'all taught us. I used to believe in that, but the more I interact with you guys and current and former athletes, there is no excuse for not winning at all. It doesn't matter if you're messing up your draft picks. It doesn't matter if you don't sit players that are healthy. You don't, maybe in basketball, but in football, I'm learning that there's no compensation in losing, no matter what.
Because you
like
put
that.
we've sacrificed so much to do this. And that's the part people just don't realize. Just not only the physical part, from our families, mentally, physically, emotionally. I mean, we put so much of our lives into 3 hours on Sunday. And if you don't come away with the victory, it's failure. And you're not like, well, at least I had a pretty good. No. There's so much that is put. I think down to having to get an injection every game just to go play, and what you have to go through just to get your body to a place where you can physically go do it all again, only to put yourself right back in that place where I got to get an injection, and he has to, tape this up, and I got to sit in this cold tank, and I got to do it. There's so much sacrifice that's put into it. That's why we don't think in the form of moral victory. No, I put so much physical, mental, and emotional energy and effort into just getting a victory. When we as players, when we hear that moral victory, it actually makes me upset, because that just tells you how someone doesn't appreciate the effort that you put in. I lost. That's it. I lost. I don't need a moral victory. Moral victories. Can I morally train? Can I morally have some of these aches and pains go away? Can I morally put my body back together? Can I morally not have to deal with all of this every single week? No. So don't give me a moral victory on Sunday. Damn it, I want the win, or I want nothing at all.
What I can't get, and the reason I don't go with moral victories, I guess Jesse even more so with me and Jesse, is we free agents. So guess what? At the end of a year, when you go 2 and whatever, 4 and whatever, and you had like 4 or 5 great moral victories, guess who the first guys they're looking to replace? It's them non-drafted guys. Yeah. So I'm like, wow, man, can I get a moral making the team? Somebody pay me my money next year? Can
I get a moral contract?
Yeah, I was like, wow, man. When you tank, when teams tank, it's the bottom of your roster is getting cut.
Mm-hmm. Do players look at it differently then? Does a guy like DeMarcus Lawrence look at it differently than a guy like, I don't know.
DeMarcus Lawrence ain't worrying about whether he's going to make the team. DeMarcus worrying about, okay, well, how do I bend my body this way or on this play, or what do I need to do to get better this year? A guy like me, it's like when the season over with, I got to lock in because I got to make the team. Can I get on special teams? I started in the league, believe it or not. I was on a couple of special teams. So I'm trying to make the team, man. I'm trying to get my donut money. I'm trying to get my chicken money. So,
but then you have guys like DeMarcus Lawrence, the high paid guys. Then they realize every year I don't have success, I'm 1 year closer of my career being done. I'm 1 year closer to this thing being over. While they have the security of having the contracts, again, they still have to go out and do the same things physically that myself or Nate have to do and getting their bodies ready to go and prepare. Because guess what's going to happen? While Nate and I aren't going to take a lot of the criticism, DeMarcus Lawrence, every time he don't get a sack, it's, oh my God, he sucks. We pay him $20 million and he can't get a sack. So again, that's the mental part of this thing. When you got to hear constantly, week in and week out, how terrible you are, how you're not this, and how the national media and you got social media and everybody's saying that you're not this and that. Some are correct and some aren't correct, but that's the mental part of it. As a guy who's a big dollar guy,
Zeke, if you're not Zeke go through every day. Mm-hmm. People see him in the stores right now. How you doing, Zeke? You gonna split carrots with Tony Pollard?
And believe it or not, though, Nate makes a joke. Nate makes a joke, but that is so real. That is so real that people think that we're not human. People will see us in the store, like literally see us in the grocery store, be like, "Man, what are you doing in the grocery store, man? Shouldn't you be studying?" No, I'm getting eggs so I can have breakfast. Like they think that you're not supposed, especially when you're losing. They think you're not supposed to do normal human being stuff. Like if they see you at a movie or at a car wash or at a whatever, like, man, what are you doing at the car wash, man? Come on, bro. I need
somebody to do that for you. Wow.
Get somebody to do that for you. I need you for my fantasy. I need you to do this.
The most embarrassing thing is to see a mom and a father out with their kid, and before they know it, they done ran up to you and ask you a question like, "Hey, my daddy said you ain't what you used to be."
Oh, man.
That
happened to you?
Yeah, where's your mom? Where's your daddy? And I walk back up with them. I walk back up and say, here, I get their name. I like, here's your son, such and such. Here's little Johnny. Thanks for telling him I ain't no good no more. Have a great day.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I had that happen a couple of times, boy. Them parents they was something mad at that kid. I'm like, hey, don't be mad at the kid. You said it.
Yeah.
Let's take our first break. Hey, I want y'all to think about something. That's a funny story. Think about the craziest thing that a fan or a fan's kid has said to you, either while you were playing or after you were playing. Think about that when we come back. We'll talk about that. Kurt's got Bucky Brooks' article on DallasCowboys.com, self-scouting these Cowboys. He's got some questions that he wants to ask us from that. And then we'll talk about some other things. What do the Cowboys need to improve on to have success down the stretch and make these here playoffs? We'll talk about all that and more when we come back from our first break. You're listening to Hangin' with the Boys.
Is your family a Cowboys family? Have you taken holiday photos at the Star? Was your wedding theme blue and silver? Have you convinced your kids them is spelled with a D? If so, every game day feels like a vacation to you, so treat it like one. Whether you're traveling to the game or watching from your favorite vacation spot, book a place to stay on Hotels.com. Proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Just like all of you, we at SeatGeek can't wait until we're back in the stands at full strength cheering on the Cowboys and singing along to our favorite songs again. We're using this time to make discovering, buying, and selling tickets to events in Dallas easier. Plus, every ticket purchased on SeatGeek is protected by our buyer guarantee, which means you'll get your money back or better if your event is canceled. Guaranteed. Download the SeatGeek app today, and when the time is right, let's go. SeatGeek.
Grab some OtterBox gear and get ready for Hanging with the Boys. From rugged venture coolers to tough as nails elevation tumblers, we've got what you need to keep your game day drinks frosty and your football feast ice cold. And with cases, screen protectors, and power accessories, you can defend your phone and stay connected to every play. Gear up at OtterBox.com and amp up the fun of every Cowboys game. That's OtterBox.com.
Dear, it's 1908. Don't you think we should get electricity?
And stop using candles to see at night.
It's just electricity lights up the room fast. It's more reliable than candles blowing out, and people seem to love it nationwide.
Well, candles are...
Dear, did you just run into the wall?
Nope. May I have a new candle, please?
Historically, switching to new technology is a no-brainer. Today, it's AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure, and nationwide. Switch to AT&T 5G. It's not complicated. 5G requires compatible plan. May not be in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
Welcome back to the SWBC Mortgage Living Room, Frisco, Texas. Kurt, are you watching the game in old basketball shorts or baggy sweats? Well, that's for amateurs. If you want to relax like a pro, upgrade to the comfort of Tommy John loungewear. It looks awesome and feels even better. It's got pockets for snacks and is machine washable for any unpredictable nacho cheese spills. Shop loungewear at TommyJohn.com/Cowboys for 15% off your first order. TommyJohn.com/Cowboys. Sometimes Jesse wears that on the show because you can't tell. He doesn't wear with underwear because he doesn't wear underwear, but sometimes he wears his Tommy John loungewear on the show.
Underwear are overrated.
Nate, what is the most awkward or funny or embarrassing comment or that a fan or a fan's child or someone has said to you?
That's about it. What I said earlier, man. Because people just don't walk up to big black guys my size and say almost anything. It takes little kids, man, not to know better. So, but that's about it, there, man. You've heard people talk about you. They didn't know you was there. Like Kurt is gonna tell us it very soon.
No.
If you don't tell him, I will.
Look, we got. You know what? We gotta reset this show because used to we could have conversations before we went on the air. We could have conversations in the break, and it was in the trust tree. It was the fellas just talking, right? For some reason, over the past 2 months, Nate has just been airing everybody's laundry out. When we talk about something, when we went to dinner the other night, when we talk about it pre-show during the breaks, like Nate is just taking it upon himself just to air it out. So we got to reset Nate at some point. We got to get this under control. Jesse, what's something awkward or funny or something strange someone said to you?
I was doing. This was back when we used to actually go outside and be around people. I was doing an autograph session at the fair. At the fair. This is maybe about 5 or 6 years ago, and there were 3 ladies who were running the booth that I was at, and so I guess in their off conversation that they were having off to the side, one of the ladies were saying something about me, and then her little son, he was just around there, so he would be sitting right next to me, and he'll run off and he'll come back, and they're when I was in between signing autographs and taking pictures, and then one time he comes over and he goes, "Hey, mister." I said, "What's up, little man?" And he goes, "My mom thinks you're cute." So I'm just she looks over there at me, and I'm like, "He said you think I'm cute," and she turned as red as a beet and was like, get over here right now." He was like, "But you said it over here, you said it." And so, but to Nate's point, most people don't come up. I mean, one, I wasn't good enough to even, people don't come up and say stuff to me. I didn't ruin the game. So
watch
big and black. So
watch your kids. Watch what you say around your kids because they will embarrass you. Is what you're saying?
No, that's for sure.
Okay, we won't get into
Kurt. Your turn.
Your turn, Kurt.
No, I was at a minor league ball game one time with my son, and Rafael Palmeiro's son was in the game. He was playing third base, and so I started telling my son about Rafael Palmeiro, and he was a great hitter, should have been a Hall of Famer, but got in trouble for steroids and all this kind of stuff. And so I don't think I was bad-mouthing him a lot, but yet I was kind of telling the dirty laundry. Got up to leave, and sitting right behind us was Rafael Palmeiro and his wife. And so, yes, I wanted to find a hole to dig my, hide in. It was awful, but again, I liked Rafael Palmeiro, and I think he should be a Hall of Famer. So, I don't think I was bad-mouthing too much, but still, it was definitely kind of awkward.
The laundry is what killed him.
And I'll tell you this: if you go to a Dallas Cowboys game and you sit in the stands, it does not matter what section you're in. Be careful who you talk about that's playing in that game, because there are players' families, both home team and away team, that sit amongst the general public. You think that they're in suites and they're on the front row. No, they sit in the 2, the 3, the 400 levels. And I've heard many, many cases of people just talking trash about players, and then they wind up getting a conversation going with the people next to them, and they're like, yeah, that's my son. So be careful. Be careful.
All right, we called back in the day. We called and somebody's mom called and y'all had to apologize.
Oh, you mean this one right here? You mean this one right here? Hold on.
Erica in Jacksonville, what's up?
Hi, how are you?
What's on your mind? What do you think about this trade?
Oh, I love the trade. I think the guy is a very great guy. He's from Miami, so we're from. I just wanted to say I listen to you guys' show every day, and I want to say God bless you all, but it's very hurtful when I hear the things you all say about my son.
Who's Mrs. Hearns?
This is Mrs. Hearns, yes.
Oh, man. Good.
Oh, got him.
You talk about something like that, Shannon? Be careful.
Yeah.
You be careful, Shannon.
Exactly.
That was 2 of the best sound bites ever to come out of this show, back to back. It was Mrs. Hearns, and then tell us what you're thinking.
Tell us what you're thinking.
Oh my God!
I don't know why I still have that saved in my phone, but I it is still saved in my phone.
And I'll tell you another highlight one. Somebody came on the show. How does it feel to be snake bit? You remember that?
What?
How do you spell?
What's it?
How does it spell to be the tight end? Remember our tight end who's hurt? We had him on the show. How does it feel to be snake bite?
Yeah.
I miss player interviews. Those were so fun.
Oh my God! I'll never forget that. Me and Shannon just looking, man, like what?
Yeah, you guys you hung me out to dry on that one.
Yeah, we did. We sure did. That was so great. That was so great. Oh man, that was so
Mrs.
great.
Hearns.
Mrs. Hearns.
Yeah, wow.
Tell us what you think.
Great times, man.
That was fun. All right, Kurt. Bucky Brooks wrote an article at DallasCowboys.com. What did he say?
Yeah, he was self-scouting the Cowboys at the break, and some of the things he brought up. I thought I'd run by you to kind of get your opinions.
You know what? Let's take a break, because I want to get into this. I want to save plenty of time. Let's use the whole last segment to do this. You want to do that?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right, let's take a little early break, because these are some really good questions. I'm interested to get y'all's feedback on this. So let's take our last break. When we come back, we'll get into Bucky Brooks' article, and Kurt has some questions on Hangin' with the Boys.
Just like all of you, we at SeatGeek can't wait until we're back in the stands at full strength cheering on the Cowboys and singing along to our favorite songs again. We're using this time to make discovering, buying, and selling tickets to events in Dallas easier. Plus, every ticket purchased on SeatGeek is protected by our buyer guarantee, which means you'll get your money back or better if your event is canceled. Guaranteed. Download the SeatGeek app today, and when the time is right, let's go. SeatGeek.
It's game day. You know what that means. First, kebab prep. Steak, pepper, onion, steak, pepper, onion. Next, a counterclockwise lap around the room. Now the lucky grease-stained jersey goes on. And lastly, the dance. You know the one. This is a game day ritual no matter where you are. Whether you're traveling to the game or watching from your favorite vacation spot, book a place to stay on Hotels.com and keep the tradition alive and well. Hotels.com. proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Grab some OtterBox gear and get ready for Hanging with the Boys. From rugged venture coolers to tough as nails elevation tumblers, we've got what you need to keep your game day drinks frosty and your football feast ice cold. And with cases, screen protectors, and power accessories, you can defend your phone and stay connected to every play. Gear up at OtterBox.com and amp up the fun of every Cowboys game. That's OtterBox.com.
Dear, it's 1908. Don't you think we should get electricity?
And stop using candles to see at night.
It's just electricity lights up the room fast. It's more reliable than candles blowing out, and people seem to love it nationwide.
Well, candles are...
Dear, did you just run into the wall?
Nope. May I have a new candle, please?
Historically, switching to new technology is a no-brainer. Today, it's AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure, and nationwide. Switch to AT&T 5G. It's not complicated. 5G requires compatible plan. May not be in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
Hey, Cowboys fans, what better way to spend Thanksgiving than in a private suite at AT&T Stadium with your family to watch the best game of the year? Head to DallasCowboys.com/hotels for a chance to win a private suite, a free hotel night stay, and transportation to and from the game on a private Cowboys bus, all courtesy of Hotels.com. Mrs. Hearns? Your turn.
Awful.
Your turn.
Yeah,
Before you start, Shannon expressed again that you can get a suite at the stadium. Shannon, if you give him enough time, he'll come by and visit with you. He's a freebie type guy. Jess is rubbed off on him.
there you go. Is that part of the package, Shannon? You make an appearance?
I will.
You and Rowdy for money?
Yeah, we'll do stuff for money. We will do stuff for money. I ain't got much shame, I tell you that. I will do stuff for money.
Oh, man. So, yeah, Bucky Brooks had an article on DallasCowboys.com where he's kind of self-scouting the Cowboys here at the break, and he brought up several players that I thought I'd kind of get your guys' opinion on. The first one is Dak Prescott. Obviously, the team misses him. Obviously, he was probably MVP, and now we see what life is like without him. At this point, are you willing to pay Dak more? What's your price for him gone up or down?
Mine's going up. Without a shadow of a doubt. It's going up. Yeah. And I don't care. Because here is the honest to God truth. If the Cowboys do not want Dak Prescott, there are at least 5 teams that would take him in a heartbeat. Dak Prescott has at least 5 or 6 that'll take him in a heartbeat. And there's more. I'm sure there's more. I'm just going off the top of my head. There's at least 5 or 6 right now that will say, give me him right now. And if I'm Dak Prescott and whoever's representing him, my price has gone up, and I am so firm on. And I'll even like force the Cowboys to really have to make a decision, because even though you'll get $40 million in the franchise, I want my long-term deal. I want my security that I so rightfully deserve. And I think what's going to happen as far as the court of public opinion, everyone is in such praise for Dak right now, kind of almost feel sympathetic for him. It won't go over well with the fan base if Jerry doesn't give him a long-term deal. The fan base will turn on Jerry because they're saying this guy is rightfully deserves it. You saw what happened to him last year. You saw what we are without him. And if the Cowboys turn and go to with their top pick they may get in the draft this year, and they go to a quarterback, that tells you all you need to know, that this team is in a complete rebuild, not a reload, not shuffle some things around. But then Dak will go somewhere else. But I mean, the price is going way up for Dak Prescott.
I totally. Here's a couple of things on that, Kurt. I agree, and I think I even underestimated what Dak meant to this team until you didn't have Dak this year, and with basically the same parts in place, with the exception of a couple of guys. What this team, the points they were scoring to what the points they went to scoring when he went down, you got to see firsthand how they have built and tailored this roster over the last 3 years to fit Dak, to fit his style of play, and you didn't realize it until he went down. So basically, they've pushed all in on Dak. One thing you can talk about, Mr. Jones and Steven all you want, but one thing they want to do is they want to win. They want to win so bad, it's almost to a fault. And they know if they go draft another quarterback, that's a 50-50 crapshoot. They know what they have in Dak Prescott. And I would be willing to bet that they're going to open up the checkbook and go, look, we can win with this guy. We've seen it. We can score points. All we got to do is get the defense under control. We can score points with this guy to beat any team in the league. I think his price has gone through the roof with this injury and just seeing how this thing played out. So, and you know what? I might not have been on this train at the beginning of the season. Pay him whatever he wants, figure it out, and give the man his money. That's where I'm at on this thing.
You pay him.
Yeah.
Just do the deal, man. It shouldn't be. This thing shouldn't even. All we should hear is the deal is done. All we should hear, okay, we going in a different direction. That they're going back and forth. I ain't about it no more. Either get the deal done, because now this is an important year for the Dallas Cowboys. It's like Jesse said, and a little bit what Shannon said. We either gonna take a great leap with Dak, or we're gonna take a great fall rebuilding without Dak. I want to hurry up and know, so I know how to go out and scout and get the guys I need to get at the Senior Bowl, starting at the Senior Bowl.
It's so funny that this is the one contract that they've kind of been. Every other contract, the Amari, the Zekes, the linemen, the Tanks, every other contract, they've been kind of like, all right, let's go do it. Relatively speaking, in a manageable time frame. But this is the only contract that they have been just putting off and putting off and putting off. And as much as of a businessman and as a gambler that Jerry Jones is and Stephen Jones is, this is the one, because they could think about this. 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, they could have got this deal done at $25 million.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And they were complaining that was too much. And ever since then, the number has just incrementally went up and up and up until the point it's going to cost them, because of their hesitancy, it's going to cost them way more than what they could have gotten it for almost 3 years ago at $25 to $27 million per year, when he was, willing to take something that low, because he didn't quite know that his representation didn't quite know whether he was going to be what he is now or whether it was going to be kind of level off. So they would have jumped all over that. Like, what? Fourth round guy, we can get $25, $26, $27 million a year. Let's go. Let's do a 5-year deal. Let's get it done. Let's get security. And now, it's nearly doubled.
Yep.
It's going to be close to $40 million.
Yeah, I think it'll be at least 40.
At least 40. It's nearly doubled in the amount that you could, and it's in a very short window. A 3-year span, it went from being what most would consider for quarterback, for franchise quarterback, dirt cheap, to now you're going to have to pay what the elite quarterbacks are making in the league now.
Yeah. Okay, how about this one? Zeke still doesn't have a 100-yard game. He's getting a lot of criticism. Can they win without him finding a way to turn it around?
Take it away, Nate.
It's your boy.
They can win. They have enough talent, on this team besides Zeke. They can win. McCarthy has won before without a great running back. So, yeah, they can win. Would it be easier with Zeke? I think it'd be much easier. But right about now, Zeke is fighting his own demons. It ain't just that he may have lost a step or half a step. He fighting his own demons of being a way he has to run the ball and being secure and stuff like that. So, that's a logical question there.
Is it in his head now? I think it's going to be more mental than physical.
I think a couple of more games he'll be all right. Like you said, looking at the NFC East, and believe it or not, fellas, we as players can get pumped up about stuff like that. Man, we back in this race for real. And they already have played well on defense. We'll find out. Look at Devin Cook tonight and see if it was what he been doing these last few weeks is a fluke. But I don't think it's a fluke, and I think Zim got his boys ready to go. So it's a must watch for Cowboy fans tonight.
Let me ask you guys this: do you think Zeke is still dealing with some of the residual effects from when he got COVID?
That's
Could be. I don't. The reason, like I tell people, you don't know. The doctors don't know. Nobody knows how this thing. We know it infects the lungs, all body parts, depending on who you are, what type of underlying illnesses you have, what it may affect on you. So we don't know. We don't know, but that's just many. If you're looking for an excuse, that's another thing you can throw in there.
Yeah. Didn't he have a
late July?
COVID made him fumble.
Wasn't he a fake positive though? Didn't he have a false positive?
I think he had it, didn't he?
I think he had it.
He had it.
Jesse, that'd be an interesting comparison to go out and see guys that have contracted it and their performance before and after to see if there's any ill effects after. Because you're right, Nate. There's so much information, misinformation and missing information on this thing I bet there's some kind of study that's going on right now, but that'd be a very interesting comparison.
Oh yeah,
man. Across the league.
Definitely.
I would hope
the NFL has jumped on it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'd hope, 3 months out now. I've heard that, this stuff can linger 2 to 3 months, but like you guys said, nobody knows for sure. Hopefully now, though, 3 months out, whatever problems there have been, but who knows,
You know what I'm banking on before you start is that our offensive coordinator, he showed this last game that he can adjust how he thinks and move around. Maybe it was a head coach influence with the offensive coordinator, but that was a nice last game that they called, I think.
Yeah, for sure. What did you think? Did you want to chime in there on Zeke, Shannon?
I mean, I think you got. I'm with Nate. I think you got enough talent on this team. You showed the diversity that you have the ability to make play calls to fit your talent and scheme it up a little bit different. I think Tony Pollard. I don't think he needs a ton of carries a game, but I think you could be creative enough to do things if Zeke doesn't hit 100 yards. For another game this year, I think you got the talent to get it into the right people's hands to do it. It'd be a lot easier to do it with Zeke, but I think you could win without him if you had to.
Yeah. Here's one more offensive question, and maybe we save the defense for tomorrow if we want. What should we expect from CeeDee Lamb the rest of the way? As a rookie, is he only going to get better this year, or do you think he might hit kind of a wall?
Take it away, wide receiver.
I think for him, we've kind of seen him hit that mini wall. He's had a couple games where he was dropping passes, wasn't quite in the groove of things. And the best thing that he was able to do is have a bye week. Is now I have a couple bad games. Things ain't quite going well for me. The quarterback changing. I got one quarterback this week, another quarterback next week. And that affects, believe it or not, that affects wide receivers probably the most. I would say wide receivers and then the offensive linemen, because guys get into a groove and they know, hey, Michael Irvin, that bang 8 post, and Troy knew that bang 8 post from Michael Irvin, that was their bread and butter, all day, all night long. He knew when Michael was going to break it off. Mike knew when that back foot hit. He knew the ball was going to come. It just was a thing that they just had. Or you could look out to your receiver and kind of give him that nod, and y'all two be on the same page. And when you have these quarterback inconsistencies, when you're changing quarterbacks week in and week out, it's hard to get a rhythm. The new quarterback may come in there, and the last quarterback may have loved throwing the seam route. Well, the new quarterback that's in there might not be comfortable throwing the seam route. He may want the check down route. And so now where you were getting that ball down the seam route because the other quarterback was comfortable and liked to throw the seam route, now you're not getting it. Or, you know what, he likes the backside curl more than he likes the front side curl. So there's a multitude of different things. I think for CeeDee, he gets a chance now to take a step back, and self-evaluate himself. What can I do better? And I already know, I saw it from his Instagram, he's been training and holding up his skills, now giving himself another opportunity to come out the second half of the year. I think he'll be just fine. I think he'll stay on the same trajectory he's been on all year long. He'll finish somewhere around 800-900 yards receiving, a couple more touchdowns throughout this year. You hopeful that you can keep one consistent quarterback so that they can all build a rhythm. But I think CeeDee Lamb, as long as he has Amari Cooper staying healthy and playing, I think his path will be, he'll still continue that projection upward through the rest of the season.
I agree with you, Jesse, because
Fellas,
you said it so well at the beginning, whereas it's going to be linebackers and safeties and third corners. And ain't nobody in the league got that good of a defense to be able to do that to him. So I agree 100% with you, Jesse.
Fellas, this has been fun. It's so great to be back together with you guys.
Oh, the show over already?
Man, it is.
The show's already over, man. I enjoyed the show last week, but I enjoy you guys so much more. This was really, really fun, and I miss you guys, and I forgot how much fun this show is to do. So I appreciate you bringing a little bit of joy to my day today.
Yeah, that ain't what they said when you was doing hosting them other shows the other week. They talking about Shannon licking up to him.
Stop it, Nate. Stop it, Nate. Quit airing out my laundry, man. Nate, Jesse, Kurt, Chris Beam, thank you guys. Kurt, we'll get into the defense tomorrow and some other things. We will see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place, hanging with the boys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.